Hello viewers. So in this session we'll be discussing of futures of human resource management. So the area of human resource management is very important in the organization, and it will play a very crucial role in achieving the objectives or the goals of the enterprise. So whatever the resources you have in the organization, men, is very important. Then only you can use the materials. So materials, money, or machineries you have. So ultimately the human resource management is focusing on various areas, starting from the procurement of the employees to retention as well as to exit of the employees. So one by one the characteristics or the features of HRM we will discuss. The first one is it is pervasive in nature, or it is pervasive force. So pervasive means actually it is universal. HRM is not only required at the top level, it's also required at the middle level as well as at the operational level, as well as the HRM is not only applicable to, or it is not only related to the corporates, but also it is related to the non-profit organization or other kind of associations or temples or government organization. So everywhere you can see the presence of HRM where you want to deal with the people. So that's why it is called as it is pervasive in nature, or we can say that it is a universal applicable. Second one, it is action oriented. Action oriented means here it is not only dealing with the recording of the facts and figures about the HR data, but also it deals with the actions. So it is dealing with the employees' commitment level, their motivation, their morale, their satisfaction. So rather than only building the records about the employees' numbers, it's also focusing on the actions of the employees in terms of their productivity, efficiency. So all these areas are considered here. And third one is it is individual oriented. So individual oriented means here you are giving importance to individual employees. So each and every employees are different in terms of their attitude, their perception, their behavior. So you need to identify the roles in the organization. You have to assign them responsibilities. And as an organization, here for the development of the organization or for the growth of the organization, the full potential of the employee should be identified and it should be utilized. So that is called as individual oriented. Next one, it is people oriented. So definitely it is management of the men. So one side you are having the task, another side you are having the people. So balance should be maintained in between a task and people. So you can't give only importance to the task. So definitely you need to give importance to the people, means the employees that are working in the organization. Next one, it is comprehensive in nature, or it is a comprehensive function. Means the impact of the HR on other functions are very important. Means many functions of the HR here it's clubbed together, maybe recruitment or selection or maintenance, development of employees or building the relationship. So many functions will include here. Because of that, we are calling it is a comprehensive function. And next one, it is development oriented. So there is no doubt that always firm they are thinking in a positive direction. So always they are thinking how we can develop the employees. So a proper training or development programs are arranged in the organization to improve their skills, to improve their capabilities. That's why we can call HRM is development oriented and having a optimistic view. Next one, it is integrating force or it is integrating mechanism. So integrating mechanism means HR is connected with so many other departments. So there is a need of interaction between so many departments. So if you consider the production or finance or marketing, so there is a need to coordinate and there is a need to interact with all these departments to achieve the end results of the organization. So if there is any miscommunication, so definitely it will be a hindrance to the organizational productivity. Next, we can say that it is interdisciplinary function. Interdisciplinary andre HRM, even though it is a separate discipline, but so many things here we borrowed from a different subject. For example, we borrowed from organizational behavior, we borrowed from psychology, we borrowed some concept from sociology, from economics, from research, and ultimately we developed the human resource management. So that's why it is considered as interdisciplinary function. And next very important function is it's a continuous function. It's a never-ending process. So starting from the procurement, means starting from the entry of the employees, then you're going for their development, training, appraisal, fixing the compensation, managing the benefits, and finally retention as well as exit strategy. So all these things are considered. So it's like an ongoing concern concept. So till wherever the company is functioning, so till that time you have to go for the human resource function. And finally we can conclude the point with the staff function. I mean it's a supportive function in the organization. So we know that line and staff or organization structure. So line managers, they are the frontline executives in the decision making process, and staff means they are an expert or they are the specialist, they are providing the guidance. So in case of manufacturing manufacturing organization, so basically the production department or the line managers, they are in the front line, and HR is playing as a auxiliary role. Auxiliary role means actually they are playing as a supportive role to the line managers. So ultimately these are the fundamental features or characteristics of the human resource management, and it is a dynamic in nature. Means we can say that it is challenging because so many factors are affecting the organizational function, and the employees are different, they are complex, so they are different in terms of their behavior, their attitude, their likes, their perception. So that's why it is very important to deal with the employees. So it is complex in nature as well as it is very challenging, and it's called as ultimately it's a dynamic. So all these points are coming in futures of HRM. The next part, in brief, we will cover the scope of HRM, the coverage of HRM. Now, as per the American Society for Training and Development, they conducted a fairly an exhaustive study in this field, and they identified some areas of the activities of HRM, and they considered HRM is a broad concept, and personal management and human resource development are the part of HRM. So already we discussed that HRM is focusing on the personal area, relationship area, as well as development area. Now the scope of HRM is divided into three parts as per the Indian Institute of the Personnel Management. So personal aspects, welfare aspects, and industrial relation aspects. So in personal aspect, mainly the employees, procurement, their development, all these factors are considered. Welfare aspect, mainly the health and their welfare measures, safety, health, all these things are focused here. And in the industrial relation, how we can build a relationship between the workers and how we can improve that, and how we can solve the dispute, and how we can have a redressal mechanism. So all these areas are covered and we will discuss one by one. So these are the 9 areas basically covering in scope of the management. But in mainly the personal aspect, so these things we can consider one by one. So starting from human resource planning. So we need to make a forecast of the manpower requirement here. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು manpower ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಫೋರ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಮುಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು manpower ಬೇಕು. So both in terms of number as well as kind. So it is done. So once you get the number, once you finish with the forecasting, next part, you need to collect the information about the job, the duties, the responsibilities. That is called as job analysis and job design. So the two major areas of job analysis is job description and job specification. So job description andre the responsibilities, duties of the particular job, and job specification means in a very simple meaning, so the minimum skills or the capabilities required to perform the job. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಒಂದು ಕನಿಷ್ಠ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಪಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. Next part, once you finish with the numbers and analyze the job, next one, the recruitment and selection will come. So you need to search the prospective candidate and motivate them to apply for the job. And next you go for screening the candidate and select the best candidate among the pool. So here techniques of selection will come. It may be various kind of tests and interviews. So once you selected the employees, next a placement will come. So after placement, there is a need of orientation or induction program, because they are not familiar with the organization. So the background of the organization, the culture, the value system, the work culture, about the department. So all this briefing is required. Next, You need to give training and development, and the evaluation of their performance is required from time to time, performance appraisal. Then deciding about the compensation, the basic wages or bonus or whatever. And finally, you need to motivate the employees. So financial way as well as non-financial way. Next part is welfare aspect. Basically, it deals with the health and safety measures are adopted in the organization, because whenever workers are exposed to dangerous manufacturing process, so definitely their health and safety should be utmost concerned. For example, in case of mining or chemical industry, so where the working condition is very dangerous, or what we can say that is exposure to the danger, so need to take some precautionary measures. So health and safety measures are very important here. Next, proper working conditions. Maybe what we can say that the floors should be very clean, and there should be we can say that humidification or ventilation, proper lighting arrangements. Next, the workers or employees should be provided with the food facilities through their canteens. For the female employees, there is a provision of creches to take care about their infant kids. Next, there should be a separate restroom as well as a lunch room. The company can make arrangement of the transportation facilities, housing facilities, medical as well as the insurance facility the company can make provide to the employees, education to the employees as well as to their children's. So some companies they are running their own hospitals, some companies are running their own educational institutions where they can give free of cost education to the children's, as well as they are encouraging the employees for their higher education. And finally, the company can make arrangement of the recreation facilities, like in the rest time the employees can go for the library, or they can have some fun, or they can go for some kind of gymnasium. So Google is the one best employer in the world. So you can go through the documentary of the Google workplace. So how they are taking care about their employees. So what kind of welfare measures they are taken care by the organization. And finally, in the scope will cover the industrial relation aspect. So ultimately, we need to maintain a cordial relationship between the management and the worker. So to do this, actually, there is some requirement like works committee is required. So committees representing workers and the management at the lower level. Actually, whenever any issue, so immediately it is addressed and it is solved. And collective bargaining technique. So it is very important. And grievance and the redressal mechanism and disciplinary procedure. And finally, there should be a proper dispute settlement mechanism, because sometimes indifference will come between the management and the workers, or between the workers and workers. So there is a need to settle the dispute as and when it will arises in a formal or maybe informal way. So ultimately, the scope of the HRM will cover three broad areas: personnel, welfare aspect, as well as the industrial relation aspect. So here we end the session.